right, guys, we have an amazing podcast today. Ilia told us that this was his first podcast ever, so it's truly an honor to have him. Guys, a superstar. Before we get into it, if you guys have never tried the PrizePicks app, you have to download it. Stop what you're doing right now. You guys have seen me. I love to fire on sports, and I've literally tried every single app there is, and PrizePicks by far is my favorite. What I like about PrizePicks is instead of choosing teams, you're choosing individual players. Each player has a set projection, and you either go more or less than that set projection. Boys, if you're watching like UFC, for example, and you know what fighters are going to perform on what nights, different stats like significant strikes, takedowns, if you're really into UFC, you can really dial in and probably fire on PrizePicks big. I personally can't watch sports without firing on PrizePicks. It just makes it so much more fun. Football's over now too, but NBA's still hot, NHL's hot. All eyes are on Luka this week. Luka's all over PrizePicks, so take advantage of that. Also, we got you guys on a sweet deal. Code NELK. If you use that code and put in $5, you get $50 for free. That simple, no strings attached on your first time using it. So take advantage of that code. That's for you boys. Download the PrizePicks app, the best app in the game by far to fire on sports. Let's get on the pod. Also, really quickly, boys, we have some brand new UFC Full Send stuff on fullsend.com right now. You guys have been going crazy over the UFC Full Send stuff, so we just restocked it all over the website. Super clean, super simple. I personally love rocking it. So go to fullsend.com, cop some UFC Full Send pieces. Let's get on the pod. All right, guys, we are back with another amazing episode today. We have, in my opinion, the biggest superstar in the UFC right now, Ilia Topuria. This happened in a matter of less than 12 hours. I want to give a shout out to my good friend, John Shahidi. You know him as well, right?
Yeah,
How do you guys know each other?
We meet each other in Las Vegas. I had I don't know, a small conversation with him, but he seems to be a very nice guy. He tried to help us many times, so I appreciate him to help me every time.
That's awesome. Shout out, John. No, we appreciate you coming. I know you guys had a big night last night. What did last night mean to you that your brother took the W?
It was so emotional for me to see him making his debut, see him win. It was something that we dreamed since we were kids. So seeing it in the reality, it was something very emotional to me and very happy.
Do you like being in the corner?
Wow, it's kind of weird, because when I walk in the octagon, when I'm fighting, I feel like I have the control over everything. But with my brother, it was so weird because from the corner you can't do anything.
Right.
Whatever happens, you have to accept it. He wins, he loses, he gets knocked out, or he knocks out. So you feel tension all the time.
Is it more nervous fighting or being in the corner?
Being in the corner, I was more nervous.
Do you ever tell him some stuff and he just doesn't listen?
No, I feel that he listened to me a lot, like I do all the time when I'm fighting. I try to listen to him, because I feel that he knows me really well. He knows me. He knows my inside world. He knows when I can push my opponents, when I have to rest, I recover my condition. So we have a special connection.
Yeah. What did you think of the Duplessis-Strickland fight?
To be honest, I didn't watch it.
No.
No.
You guys were celebrating?
Yeah, we were celebrating. We came out, he did all his interviews, and then we went to celebrate a little bit. We were watching his fight. I don't know, we watched it for 100 times.
How does Camp Topuria celebrate? Like when you knocked out Max Holloway, what's the post-fight celebration?
So we had a space with all our close friends, with partners. So we celebrate with music. We bring a DJ from Spain. I don't know, just enjoying with the family.
Do you guys party a little bit of wine or anything, or no?
Yeah, a little bit of
everything.
Little fun?
Yeah. What's your go-to drink? Is it the wine?
I love to drink wine, and in special moments like that, maybe I can drink some tequilas or beer. Not very often, but in that kind of situations, I do it, because sometimes you have to enjoy also the life. It's not always to being in that way to on diet. I don't drink, I don't do this, on that. You have to enjoy it also.
You got to mix it up, yeah.
Of course.
How big was that knockout to you? Because I know, Max Holloway was never knocked out. All the fans think it was crazy, but what did it mean to you? Were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised, to be honest, because I always knew it. Always knew it that my time would come. But it's always very emotional when you are able to live that specific moments in your life, and especially when you fight a guy like Max Holloway that never has been knocked out. But I knew it. I don't know. I don't know.
Where does that power come from?
From God, He gives me that power. Because of course I work hard. I work very hard, and I feel that I don't only work the hard way. I work the smart way also. But I see also many guys working really hard, doing everything that they can, but they don't have this power. So the conclusion is that the power comes from
It's
God.
from God. Would you accredit your mentality to God too?
Of course,
I know Carlos Alcaraz, he said he studies your press conferences when it comes to mentality, which is crazy. And he's a massive superstar, right?
And he's, yeah, as you said, he's a massive superstar.
So where do you credit that, like, your mentality, and how important is your mentality when it comes to everything that you're doing?
The only thing I do, I base my values on what God is teaching us in the Bible, right? So I try to do all the things that He teaches us. I just try to believe in myself, because I always used to say this way, that both fear and faith demand you to believe in something that you never saw, and you choose. And I always choose to believe in things that make me feel happy, and makes me fit and think that tomorrow is going to be even better than today. So this is the way I see life.
You have a very crazy, inspiring story. I didn't know about it. I've never heard you talk about it personally until you guys were telling me about it. But you were born in Germany, and then you moved to Georgia, and then to Spain. And could you tell us about that? Like, what was your childhood like growing up?
So I was born in Germany. I have my brother and two sisters. So my parents decided to go back to Georgia, because we are originally from Georgia. So we lived there for 7 years, but in the first 3 years, my parents again have to leave us in Georgia and go back to Europe, because in that moment, we didn't have a great situation in Georgia.
Was there war? Russia was...
The war started once my parent leave us, a year after or something like that, in 2008. So when you are 8-9 years old and you dealing with that kind of situation, and you don't have your heroes with you, which are your parents with that age, it's a little bit difficult. But at this moment, I appreciate everything that I lived, because it creates the man I am today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, guys, if you're into crypto or you're thinking about getting into crypto, you guys got to use the Moonpay app. Moonpay is the easiest app to buy and sell crypto. I'm looking at the app right now. What I love about it is they have Apple Pay, Venmo, PayPal, credit card, debit card, even ATM card, even your bank account. I don't know any other crypto apps that have that many payment providers. If you're holding different crypto like Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, whatever you're holding, on the Moonpay app, you can track the prices and the changes in real time. So no need to bounce between different apps to check different prices. Also, those other crypto apps, they have the worst customer service. Good luck getting some help. But Moonpay, 24/7, they're always there. They always got you guys. So if you guys know people that are trying to get into crypto, recommend them the Moonpay app. It's so easy to use. Your fucking grandma could use it, boys. Also, guys, every single Monday, we're doing Moonpay Mondays, where we give away $1,000 on our Instagram and our X. No strings attached. All you got to do is download the app and DM us your username. So try to do that every single week. Every Monday we choose someone and we literally send them $1,000 through Moonpay. We're gonna be doing this for a while with Moonpay. Boys, it's literally free money. Download the Moonpay app. Every single week you're gonna have a chance to win $1,000. Download the app. I'll put the link in the description, or go to moonpay.com to sign up. So yeah, guys, check out the Moonpay app. And if you guys want a chance to win $1,000 every single Monday, Moonpay Mondays with the Nelk Instagram and X, moonpay.com, and I'll drop the link right in the description. Shout out to Moonpay, the best fucking crypto app in the game. Let's get back in the pod. So wait, what was that like then? Who were you living with at the time when you were 8?
With my brother and with my sister. And my grandma was taking care of us also, and close family members. But without the parents, it's not the same. You know what I mean? So we had difficult times, but today I appreciate everything that I lived, because I wouldn't be here without that experience.
And then you made it to Spain when you were what,
Then
15?
when we turned to when I was 15 years old, finally me and my brother, we went with my parents to Spain, and since that moment we made the gym where we training until today, and we made the mixed martial arts.
I heard there's an interesting story with your mother with that. I heard, were you guys on a bus and she saw someone with cauliflower ear and then
Because at that time in Spain they didn't have the culture of mixed martial arts at all. No one knew anything about that.
you weren't even training at this point at age 15?
And we were doing the Greco-Roman wrestling, and we wanted to keep with that discipline in Spain also, but they don't have that sport also, so either. So my mom saw in the street a man with a cauliflower ear. You know,
Yeah.
you can identify
Yeah.
very very fast a wrestler or a
When you
fighter.
see that, you know not to fuck
yeah.
with that person.
So my mom started to talk with that man, and she told him like, I have two kids, they want to keep training, I don't know, maybe wrestling. And he said, I don't do wrestling, but I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So take your kids and I will show you the gym. So when my mom came to home, she started to talk us about the jiu-jitsu, MMA and all that, and we didn't know anything at all. And I was like, I don't want to do anything with kimono, because you know in wrestling we don't use kimono. And my dad started to talk also with us, and he was like, this is an amazing sport, you know, the graces, look this video, this and that, da, da, da. And finally they convince us to go to the gym, and since the day we step in, we didn't came out until now.
That's crazy. So do you give your mom a lot of credit?
A lot of
And
credit.
who's this guy with cauliflower ear? We got to find him and maybe.
Of course, he's a very
gotta buy him a beer or
very
something.
close friend of mine. Now he's
Still?
still, of course, he's a
Wow.
great person. I how can I forget him?
That's
Okay,
crazy.
yeah, he was a man sent by God.
Where do you want to take MMA when it comes to Spain, and even with your brother in Georgia and now Merab? Where do you see like the Camp Topuria legacy?
If you know the Spanish people, they really have that fighter spirit inside them, but at the same time they didn't have the culture of the sport. So I want them to be more familiar with the sport, because we have great talents also there. So at the same time, I don't know. My goal is not only inspire people in the sport. I want to inspire them in life and be a motivation, a role model for them. You know,
Yeah.
so some of them choose the way, the path on doing their things in the sport. Some of them wants to start with some business. Some of them wants to be a doctor in the future. I don't know. I just want to be a great example for them.
Yeah, you're inspiring a lot of people in Spain. I mean, the whole Real Madrid thing and the fight that might happen at the Bernabeu one day, we could talk about that. But how cool is that even to just work with like Real Madrid and have them support you?
Wow, it's
They've
something-
never done anything like that, right? That's huge.
It's something amazing, you know, to get that kind of support from a team like Real Madrid. It's something that motivates me and gives a recognition to everything I'm doing.
Right.
So it feels amazing.
When does that fight happen at the Bernabeu?
Hopefully, I don't know, in 2025, but by the end of the year, or maybe
This
the
year?
next year. I hope so.
How does that make you feel when you just think about the possibility of that happening? Because that'd be like history.
It makes me
Does
feel
it give you chills or no?
it makes me feel happy at the same time, because I didn't fought in Spain, I don't know, since so many years ago, the last time I fought in Spain. So it will be something amazing going out there in front of all my people. I don't know, 80,000 people in
gives me
Santiago
chills thinking about
Bernabeu
it.
with the mariachi song. It's gonna be something that it's gonna stay in my memories for life. And at the end of the day, what's life? It's
Yeah.
about the moments we are able to create and then remember them.
Uh-huh. What's it like being friends with Sergio Ramos? And what's one thing you've learned from him?
What I have learned from, he was my idol since I was a kid. The way he was, like the character he has in the sport, like always fighting till the last second of the match, that inspired me a lot. So I was following his entire career. And the day when I met him, it was like something very cool, you know, that you're watching someone, you like him, and at some point he comes to support you. I don't know, crazy things.
Has
in
he ever
life.
given you like any advice or anything like that?
Many of them, to be honest. I can't tell you anything specific that he told me, but only spending time with him, it's nice, you know. It gives you a lot of motivation.
Yeah.
Whatever he does, even if you do the same things, you are able to verify that you are doing the same thing as someone who is so big, you know.
Yeah.
So you know that you are on the right path.
It's
That's
crazy when
also a learning.
yeah, it's crazy when stars like that are kind of now, you know, almost looking up to you and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that weird at all? Or do you feel like you were just destined for this?
At the same time, it's something that I appreciate. Of course, I do, but I always knew it. I don't know. I always believed that someday I would share the stages with them. I would share the conversations with them because I was doing everything that it was in my hands, you know, what I could do. So I always had that faith that those days would come in my life.
Yeah. So since you've had that faith, what do you see? What do you see your legacy and what are your goals in the UFC and then also outside the UFC?
My goals in the UFC is to stay undefeated, to keep knocking people out. I don't go only in to just win. You know, I fight for the fans. I want to entertain people.
Mhm.
I want them to enjoy. Like when I go somewhere, I want people to offer me a great show. That's why I put my money there. So I want to do the same thing to all the fans and be as big as I can. I want to go to the lightweight division now. If the UFC wants me to give me that opportunity, I will become a two-weight class world champion. And I want to keep doing things like that. And outside the cage, as I told you before, I want to motivate and inspire people.
How many years do you think you have left in the UFC?
Till I enjoy.
Yeah, just to play it by ear.
Yeah. At this point, I enjoy it. I want to keep doing it. And it's a difficult question to answer. When I want to retire. I don't know.
There's no point in putting a time on it right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once I will stop enjoying it, I will retire.
So what makes you want to move up to 155 so bad?
Because I really believe that I can beat the current champion, Islam. I really think that he's a great champion. He does. You can't be a world champion by chance. You know, you have to do things great.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
But I like the competition, and I don't like to be a bully and fight with people that I know 100% that I'm gonna whoop his ass. You know, I like to fight with people that the fans think that it's gonna be very competitive. That kind of expectations I like to create. So with Islam, I'm gonna have that. Doing again the rematch with people that I already fought, I don't think that I'm gonna have the same kind of expectations, you know, for the fans.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I love Volk too. He's a great guy too. But as a fan,
what a guy.
As a fan, that rematch doesn't excite me that much, just because in the fashion that you won it, right?
Yeah.
But obviously he's a legend, and like you said, if anyone deserves a rematch, it's him. But just as a fan, it's kind of like
I have to give him his credits also, because you never know what's going to happen in the rematch. I'm sure that I'm going to knock him out once again if we fight again, or I will submit him. I will do the same things. But at the same time, you can't joke with that guy. He's a fucking legend.
Right. That's what I mean.
The only thing he knows to do is fighting. So I can't underestimate him at all, because he's a fucking beast. Like with Max Holloway, I just knock him out. But maybe we fight again, and you never know what's going to happen.
Is there anyone else you'd want to fight at lightweight? I know you said you'd be willing to fight Oliveira.
There are so many excited fights in the lightweight division.
Even Arman now, I guess he's kind of...
Yeah, Arman needs to build himself a little bit more, you know. But at this point, just imagine a fight between me and, I love that dog, Dustin Poirier. He's a fucking fighter, you know what I mean? You know that he goes in and he fights till he dies. You're gonna have that guy in front of you fighting and try to take your head off. That's a very excited fight for me, and I think for the fans also. Islam is a great fight. Charles is a great fight. Justin Gaethje is a great fight. I can like mention you so many great fights that I could have in the lightweight division.
The Islam fight would be
a fucking super fight. Like
Yeah,
as a fan, that if I saw that, if they announced that, I would like be like jumping up in joy.
that's a great fight. That's why I want to do it.
Why do you think the UFC doesn't want to make it happen?
I don't think that they don't want to make it happen.
It's in the works.
Yeah, it's in the works. They are trying to figure out some things.
So how do you beat Islam? Is Georgian wrestling better than Dagestani wrestling?
You can't like analyze the wrestling that way because you never know. You see a Russian guy wrestling with a American guy, and it can go either way. You know what I mean? But I have so many things against Islam that he's gonna have some hard time with me. And something he knows and we all know is that the only thing I need it's one punch, and you know for sure that I'm gonna connect that one punch because I don't throw my punches like a crazy you know. I
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my moment and I apply a lot of technique behind that punch. You know, I move my head and I know where to throw that punches. And we all know that at some point I will connect that punch, and everything will depend on what God will decide. If He wants to go, if He wants to send Islam to sleep or not, who knows that? I know that.
Didn't you say you want to submit him?
Yeah, I can also submit him. To be honest, I always say that I represent the new generation of mixed martial arts, and what that means. Before, you were seeing a guys in MMA, they were good in striking and maybe in wrestling, but their ground game wasn't that good. Or you see a guy who has a phenomenal ground game, he has a phenomenal striking, but his wrestling sucks. In my case, I'm good everywhere. So you can take me everywhere and I'm going to feel comfortable. They used to say, like, I'm going to take you to the deep water. I was born in the deep water. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Take me wherever you want to take me.
Another, I mean, I guess this one's not as possible, but what about a ever possible fight with Conor McGregor? And do you think that does he ever fight again or no?
I don't know. That guy is so sick. He has some problems in his inside world, you know. And at the same time, when he was starting in the mixed martial art, he was an idol for all of us. You know, he was a great fighter, representing good values.
He did a
That
lot for the sport at the end of the day,
he
right?
did a lot for the sport, but at some point he betrayed all the values that put him in that point. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So he get crazy. He started to be disrespectful with everyone around him, with all the people in the UFC, with all the fighters, with everyone, you know. And at some point, you fall. You know, the people comes against you. They
Where
don't like that. If they support you, you have to give them the same love back.
where do you think his downfall was?
Starting to party like he's not he wasn't a sportsman. He taking drugs, all that kind of shits. You know what I mean? Because we all know that you're always gonna have that kind of temptations, you know. But if you are really a champion, a fucking legend, you can against everything. You have to have that control about the things, not the things that have to have the control about you.
Do you want to not become the next Conor McGregor, but do you think that you'll be that next worldwide superstar? You almost already are
For sure.
in the UFC
For
because
sure.
that's what I see in you. Like
100%.
your fights are fucking unreal. You
Yeah.
finish fights. You have the sauce, like you have, and then in the press conferences, I love watching your press conferences. Like I'm always excited to watch them. So do you
Very
think
much.
is that what you want to be, that like worldwide Conor McGregor, next level MMA superstar?
I want to be more than Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? The values he represents, it's not the same values I represent. So that's why I think I'm going to be even bigger than him. Actually, I'm bigger than him. Right now, at this point, I'm bigger than him. Maybe more people knows him, but the way they know him, I don't want anyone to know me that way.
Right.
So maybe it takes me a little bit longer but I want to do it from the good way, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm very patient. So I know that there's no elevators in life, and slow is the fastest way to get where you want to be. So
You don't want to rush anything ever,
I don't
right?
want to rush
It never
anything.
pays off in the end.
God times are the perfect times.
How's your relationship with like the UFC business wise evolved now that you've become more of a star? Do you have like more say in your fights?
Yeah.
Do you guys have more of a working relationship now?
Yeah, I have a different relationship now. Of course, as a champion, you can do things a little bit different, but at the same time, the people that understand about the business are there.
Hunter,
They
Dana.
understand. Yeah, Dana and Hunter understand about the business. I can have many ideas, but they had how many champions they had before me, so they have so much experience that you can just go there and say, I want to do this, C or C. You want it or not, you can do it that way because they know how to run the business. They know how to build the stars.
It's crazy how far you come. I remember even like you were like beefing with like Paddy the Baddy. You guys used to have bad beef, and now it's crazy. I'm not trying to shit on him, but it's crazy how much of a gap there is now between stardom.
His hype was like momentáneo. In the moment, he has a lot of hype, this and that, but the quality of the fighter he is, man, come on, please. Don't even compare me to that boom, because we are on different levels and everyone can see it now that we are on different levels.
What do you think happened with him? Because he was kind of on like, he was on stardom trajectory as well.
He was very disrespectful to me, to my country, to all my people, and he just behaved like a fucking idiot, you know. He started to talk about the war we had against Russia, and that he said something. Now I understand why the Russians put the bombs in Georgia, and many kids died in that war. Many people died in that war. You know, not a lot of good things happen in the war. So when you start to joke about that kind of things, just make sure that we don't find each other anywhere, because I'm gonna take your fucking head off. You know what I mean? He wants to build his hype laughing on people, and that's not the way I'm looking to build a hype.
What's too far when it comes to press conferences and trash talk? Like, what's off limits in your opinion?
In my case, it's real, because I had press conference where I was respectful to my opponents because they were respectful to me, but when they try to go a different way, bro, I'm never looking for a problem. But if the problem comes to me, I say no fucking problem.
Yeah, I feel that.
Exactly.
Crazy story I heard too. I think Joe Rogan, he canceled his Kamala Harris interview because of your fight.
I just saw.
You saw that clip?
That was so fun.
What do you make of that?
I don't know. It was so fun that someone is not accepting Kamala Harris because he wants to watch my fight against Max Holloway. That's fun.
It's dope how much of just a fan Joe Rogan is that he would say that.
And he said that, you know, he didn't have to say that. He would like close his mouth and don't say anything. But I love Joe Rogan.
You ever going to go on Joe Rogan? I think you should go on.
If he invites me, why not? He's the best.
Yeah.
You can't refuse that invitation.
Who's like your top 3 fighters of all time?
The first one has to be Jon Jones. You have to give the credit to that man, because to me it's too fun when I see people comparing him with the Dagestani guys, even with Khabib, with Islam, or that. All the respect to all the champions, but for example, Khabib, he has how many? 14, 15 fights in the UFC. Jon Jones have 15 title defenses.
Jon Jones has transcended eras in the UFC. He's been around since like George St. Pierre. Like exactly. Everyone else is retired.
Exactly.
And he's still going.
I don't know. For me, he's the number one. Number two. Wow, that one is a tough question actually. Maybe Anderson Silva.
He was goated back in the day.
I don't want to leave anyone outside that, you know, because I love many of them and I respect, and then they inspire me in different moments of my career. Number 3, who it would be number 3? George St. Pierre. Yeah.
He was my favorite. Yeah. I'm from Canada, so he was,
Bro.
The way that he would mix up his wrestling and his striking, his wrestling was so fucking dominant.
Fighters.
And then he'd get up and do like the Superman punches and the kicks.
They were like fighters, you know? and John Jones, he's still
You think the John Jones versus Aspinall fight happens?
for sure that's gonna happen. The UFC wants to make happen something. They
Well,
make
the
it
UFC
happen.
wants it, but it's acting. Jones is saying publicly that he's kind of being like iffy online about it. But maybe that's just a negotiation tactic, right?
And negotiation tactical. That's the truth. Maybe this is what he wants to go inside the octagon, but because at this point he don't need to fight anymore. You know, if he fights, he's honest. Like, this is what I need to go inside that octagon and put the performance you want from my side. So this is what motivates me. This is what I need to go in. If you're willing to pay me, just pay me. If not, God bless you. We all good.
If anyone's earned a fat payday, it's him, right? For how long he's been in the UFC?
I don't know for how many. He's almost 40, right?
Yeah,
And he became a world champion with 23.
crazy.
So only calculating since the day he became a world champion to now, it's 17 years almost. So
Yeah. How do you see that fight playing out?
bro, I like Aspinall also. He's a great fighter, and he represents also a new generation. He's a new blood. But I don't know, man. At the same time, I don't want to say anything because I know how it feels when someone gets a question about me when I was fighting, for example, with Max Holloway, and they were asked, "What do you think about this fight?" I understand that they can't go against Max Holloway because it's very difficult to bet against someone like him, but they don't know my reality. They don't know how much I'm working, how much I desire that victory, and how much I'm willing to give to get it. So maybe we have the same case with Tom Aspinall. I don't know. It's like, give
It's a
me
tough
next
one to call,
question.
right?
I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah, you don't want to get
I don't
yourself
want
into
to
trouble.
answer. Yeah, because I respect both of them so
That's fair.
much.
How happy for that you're at, like, with Merab and stuff, that two Georgian champs
Oh,
at the same
so
time.
happy. He's a machine. He's so
He's
crazy at the same
hilarious.
time.
He's fucking hilarious, that guy.
If I do the same kind of things as he does, you would say this guy is crazy. But on him, bro, it looks great. I don't know. I
What'd you
love
make
that
of his
guy.
last performance? Because I was fucking
Fucking
hyped for that
animal.
fight. And like,
The fucking machine. I love the performance he had the last time. He showed that he's the world champion. He's the best. I saw him enjoying inside the octagon, because if you don't have that kind of control which he had, and you can do this kind of things, and you can laugh on the guy when you take him down, and you are not able to do that kind of things because you're so fucking nervous. So he showed a different kind of level. You know, he's the best.
were you surprised at his dominance in that fight?
At all. This is what I was expecting from him. I
'Cause, like,
always
yeah.
knew that he was much better than that guy, that Nurmagomedov, much better, bro. You see Merab sometimes. You see Merab, you see him fighting, and you think like, this guy is not gonna take me down because his takedowns doesn't look like very technical. But when you do sparrings with him or you fight with him, everything changes. You know, his timing, the way he moves, the way he does it. There's a reason why he is the best in the world.
I don't see anyone. It's going to be tough for someone to beat him, right?
Very, very tough. Everything can happen in a fight, but
His gas tank,
bro,
crazy. Like, to see that
Crazy.
happen to a Dagestani,
yeah.
as a fan, is like, whoa.
But none of them have like a special cardio and special stamina. You know what I mean? The way they do it, it's like, if you see fighting any of them, the thing they need when they go inside the octagon, in the first contact, they want to feel that they dominate you, and they start to build a confidence since that. Like, I can dominate you. Maybe you escape. We go in the striking again, but I felt that I'm stronger than you. But if they feel in the first contact, in the first round, but that they can control you, that it's very competitive, their head goes down. Yeah.
So what, you think it's about beating them in the earlier rounds?
This is what they try to do, to beat you in the earlier rounds, to feel that they can dominate you, that they are stronger than you. This is what they try to do all the time. But when then they realize that it's not like that, most of the time they lose that kind of fights. All the competitive fights, they lose. all of them.
Yeah.
Or you see them dominating everything, like take the people down, dominate them in the ground. Or if you see a competitive fight, they lose.
So if you move up, do you think Merab will ever move up as well? Or will you defend both at the same
He could
time?
do it because I was talking with him the last day, and I'm like, man, listen, you could easily beat everyone that I beat. You could fight with Max Holloway, with Volk, with everyone, and doing what you're doing in the bantamweight division and beat them. You can do that.
And that's something that he says he wants to do as well.
I don't know. Sometimes he's
I think he just lives in the moment, right?
Yeah, sometimes he's like, I don't want to do this, and then you see some announcement that he's doing it. I don't know.
So is this
From
going to
the
be like a showdown one day, like Georgia versus Dagestan?
I don't know.
There's a little bit Georgia Dagestani beef, right?
Not at all. I don't know. This may be what the perception of the people that they see it this way, but the competition is with everyone, all competing with each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the sport is about it. We have to compete. That's why we're there. I don't hate anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone. It's like all of them are fighting for their dreams to give a better life to their family. So you can't hate that.
Yeah. How important is family to you and what you're doing?
So you can get everything in this life, but it's not worth it if you don't have the right people to share it. You know what I mean? So my family means everything to me.
Yeah.
Everything.
Are your kids training? I think I've seen some videos.
My kid, my son, yes,
Yeah, he's training?
Yeah, he's training, and he's very good. If you see,
I've seen the videos, I think, yeah.
if you see the way he moves in boxing and the combinations he does, especially the last times when I saw him training.
How old is he now?
5.
5?
Bro, long combinations, the way he moves the head.
Just
I don't
right
know.
away?
Right away. And
When did you put gloves on him?
when he was 3 years old, but it wasn't me like come and we're gonna train and do this or do that. He was always asking me, Dad, please train me. Dad, please, I want to go with you. Dad, please, because I don't wanna push him. I don't wanna put him anywhere where he doesn't want to be. You know, because no one had to push me to do what I'm doing. Never ever. No one. My parents never had to knock my door. Ilia, go to train. Never. So I want to live him and be guided by God.
What is he training? Just boxing, or is he doing everything?
Boxing, he's doing jiu-jitsu also. We do sometimes. He likes to do also wrestling. So soccer also. He trains soccer. He's very good at soccer also.
What's one of your like biggest purchases since you've become financially successful? Are you like into cars? You got a nice watch?
To be honest, the biggest purchase I had, yeah, maybe cars,
What cars you got?
watches. Me personally, I love the Aston Martins. So yeah, I drive Aston Martin because I like it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Would you ever do like one of those super fights, like a Jake Paul type crossover thing ever after the UFC? And who would be one of the opponents that you'd want to do it with? Like the biggest one ever.
The biggest one ever that I would like to fight with Elon Musk.
Why? Because you're friends with Zuck or no?
No. I was joking. I like Elon Musk. I learned so many things from him. Who I would like to fight?
Maybe it'll come in the next.
Yeah. Maybe we will see it. We will see it because we're gonna have more YouTubers. That's for sure.
I saw Jake Paul might fight Canelo.
Yeah, but they announced the fight in a couple of minutes after they canceled it. Then they announced the fight with Crawford. It was canceled also, and now he's fighting. I don't know the guy.
I don't know. Yeah,
Kind of weird thing was going on.
What do you think about what like Jake Paul's doing? You think it's good or you think it's
Great.
bad?
You have to respect that.
Yeah.
One way or other, he makes you to go to the TV and watch him fight, and you have to give him his credit, you know. And a lot of people say he's a YouTuber. Do the same thing. Do it.
Yeah,
Try
he's taking
to
it
do it.
very seriously.
Yeah, the people doesn't understand how difficult it is to. When you're fighting on Saturday, you have so many things going on Saturday. You have, I don't know, concerts. You can go and watch a movie. I don't know, so many things on. Why someone has to choose you to stay at home or go to the stadium and watch you fight? You have to have that ability, and he has it, and you have to respect that.
What about outside the UFC? What what are your biggest like business goals? Like, do you have any businesses you're building? I know you just started working with the WoW, the promotion in
Yeah,
Spain.
yeah. I
What
had
what
the
other
promotion.
businesses are you doing outside the UFC?
So to be honest, I have many things going on. I don't want to like talk deeply about it. Before I used to be this way that people was bringing me proposals and they were like, "We're gonna make this money and this much and da," and I'm like, now I'm like, wait,
You got to be very
wait.
picky
Yeah,
choosy, right? Yeah.
very picky because
Mhm.
the way I see it, it's in my life. I'm gonna have, and all I need is maybe 5 big opportunities, So I want to be able to choose them very calm and don't be like, I'm gonna make money now in 1 year and that's it. No, no. I
Mhm.
want everything I do. I want to build an empire, I want to build a monster. I want to build something big.
Mhm.
And at the same time, is if I'm not in, I don't know what's going on. And I don't want to do anything that I'm not learning anything and I'm doing it only because of money.
Yeah, that's the way to
It's
do it.
not the way I see it,
Mhm.
the way I see it, even if it doesn't play out the way I want it, I learned and I'm much better than I was before. This the way I see it, because you can take everything from me and I will make it again because I know how to fight.
Mhm. I think your
That
manager said that's the toughest part of his job is turning down all the big deals that you get, big
Yeah,
money.
exactly. Because I don't want to promote anything that I'm not taking or I'm not drinking, I'm not doing in my life. Only promoting because of money. I don't see it in God is telling you exactly that. Don't do that kind of things.
So what do we see Ilia Topuria? How many times do you think you fight this year?
Hopefully 2-3 times. That will be good.
2, 3?
Yeah, because I don't like to fight like a lot because I like to prepare all my fights as a professional. And I like to respect all my opponents, to analyze them, to do the right game plan and work on it. So 2-3 times.
When do you think? Is there a month or a range you think that we see you come back?
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say anything because they asked me to don't say anything. But hopefully we're gonna have some announcements really soon. Maybe the next week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think this was amazing. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I appreciate you, and yeah, I think you're on trajectory, man, to be the biggest
Appreciate it, mate.
superstar in the
Thank
UFC
you
by
very much
far.
to
We're
have me
supporting you. We
here.
love watching your fights, and
Appreciate
wish
it,
you
mate.
nothing but the best.
Thank you very much.
Ilia
Appreciate
Topuria.
it. My man,
Thank you,
very
brother.
much.
Appreciate you.